Alright, today we are going to be looking for population data that comes from the U.S. Census Bureau. So today we are going to start with their Data Tools website, and we are going to use the Explore filters. This will give us pretty strong direct control over what we are searching for. We are looking for products from the U.S. Census Bureau, which means these are different survey results. So on the side we have filter options. We can filter by the geography, which is just which level of granularity do we want to look at people. So we can decide to look at the whole entire United States. We can also look at state, county, and we have this general option of all geographies. One of the nice things about all geographies is that's where we can look for specific congressional districts. For us, we are actually going to look at Mobile, Alabama together. So what we can do is we have pulled up the right section of looking at metropolitan areas, and then we are going to look at Mobile. So we can just select it and it's added as one of our filters. Now that we have our geography added, we can choose what kind of information about Mobile do we actually want to find. So we have our list of topics. They're sorted into broad categories. We have things like if we want to look at economy, if we want to look at education information, we also have race, ethnicity, we have different health information. We have all this different kinds of information because other parts of the United States government that publish different kinds of reports, they also get their information from the Census Bureau. So for us, let's go and look and see about veterans. We are doing a pretty simple search. We are just looking for information about veterans in Mobile. And we can use our tables to look at this actual data. So what it shows us right now under the results, these are different specific surveys. So we can look through these surveys and we can see which surveys ask the questions to the people that will answer our questions that we have. So we know that we want to look at veterans in Mobile and what kind of information do we want about veterans in Mobile. We can also limit to years so that we have information about specific years. Now, census data takes a while to process, so we'll have different amounts, different kinds of data available sooner, and others will take longer. So we can also see that we have options to look at different estimated results of the surveys. So here we can see that we actually cannot see information about when the different veterans served. So if that's something I wanted to know, then I'm going to have to look for a different result, a different product, which just means a different survey, to see if they do have a survey that asks the question of, what period of service. This is also if I wanted to look and see information about what sex or age people said they were when they took this survey, and we're looking at people who say veteran or non-veteran. One of the things that you can do is if you collapse and expand these categories, you can see definitely what is covered under them. So by expanding and collapsing male, I can see that the 18 to 34 year category means people who said they were male and people who said that they were between 18 to 34 years. This is also, I can look and find, oh, this one says specifically period of military service. So yes, if I wanted to know information about which war, which period they served, then I get this here. One of the things that it comes down to, though, if you see the margin of error column, that means that this is about the error of their count. I can do a different search now to find different information. This is going to be practice for how you can put two different topics together to search. So for us, let's look at information about children. And then let's also see about income and poverty. So we have done searches where we want a survey that is about Mobile, Alabama, and includes information about children and about poverty, or income and poverty. And here's our options of different surveys that we can look at. All right, let's look at this one where it's talking about poverty status of grandparents living with their grandchildren, like raising their grandchildren. So we can look at information from 2024. As you can probably tell, not all of these come from the big 10-year census. The Census Bureau does a lot of different surveys. And we can see this information. So this is information collected together. Another thing that we can see is this has the same issue with we need to pay attention to the margin of error, because the margin of error gets pretty close to the different actual estimates. And we also have the same trick here where you can expand and collapse categories to check and see which ones are contained within each other.